Yeah. America is a huge terrorist organization because you got people in, first of all, the water supply is poisoned all over the U.S. everywhere you go. A lot of times, if you look back, you just got to Google water restrictions. And a lot of times, a lot of towns, wherever you're at all across America, has got water restrictions. You can't drink the tap water. You're not allowed, you shouldn't at least. Right? Even though a lot of people do. Then you got other parts of the country that the tap water is so bad, you can't even bathe with it. Namely, Flint, Michigan, New Jersey. There's literally, you open your tap and look like chocolate yoo-hoos coming out of there, right? Now they just recently had that over, almost 10,000 residents in Flint, Michigan were evicted out of their homes for not paying the water bill of water that when you turn it on, looks like Nestle Quick. That's wicked as hell. We live in a country where you say, well, listen, that's not right. That ain't cool that these people go through that. But they really should just pay their water bill. I'm sure it's a lot of white people say they still should pay it though. I pay my water bill. You wouldn't pay your damn water bill if when you turn on the water, it looked like you're making some iced tea. You know you wouldn't pay that. You call them and say, oh, this is a bunch of malarkey, right? This is a bunch of crap. I want somebody to come here and fix this water. But you don't give a damn that the people there in Flint, Michigan, that the pH levels and the lead levels are off the charts. Poison. Literally, you could die if you drink water. When was the last time you heard somebody say that? Hey, have a cup of water, it'll kill you. Right? But that's what this country is. It's one of the biggest terrorists, period. Right? We're always so worried about people in the other countries that we don't have enough money, and that's the reason why they haven't fixed it, because they said, well, we don't have the funds, okay, to fix the water situation, but you still have hundreds of billions of dollars that you can donate to Saudi Arabia. It's true. They donate all this money to Saudi Arabia, among other nations, okay? For what? Well, I'm going to explain for what. There's scriptures that talk about that. That's what we just read in Matthew about Satan against Satan and can't stand, right? So let's go to the book of Joel. Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3 verse 10 says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say that I am strong. So the deal with that is this is prophecy. This Bible's got prophetic words in it. And the breakdown about this is that these other countries, Uzbekistan, Crimea, Kazakhstan, Lithuania, you just name it, that they're not very big superpowers, okay? Their main forms and sources of survival would be agriculture, crops. So that's why the scripture says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. These are instruments of agriculture and farming. But what they're doing is that they're beating them into instruments of war. Okay? So the scripture talks about it, and we're in the last days, according to the Bible. We're in the days that the Bible talks about, that these countries that didn't have anything to do or didn't have a strong power, atomic power, or strong presence of war, that they'll come against the United States according to these scriptures. All right? So the Bible talks about specifically this. And we have here that over hundreds of billions of dollars that America has actually given to Saudi Arabia, it's only for the destruction of this place we call America, which is written in the Bible. How you doing? You got some time for the Bible?
I was trying to see what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the destruction of this place we call America, written in the Bible. You believe in the Bible? Why don't you give me 5 minutes for the Bible? Come up for a second. All right. Yeah, well listen, the people on this chart are the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, not the people that are in Israel. We're the people that would have to suffer through the Native Americans with their land taken, over 100 million, slavery, trail of tears. We had to suffer that. But then, later on, which is now, the scriptures say we would wake up and we would claim again the status that is ours. Not to be the last in society, but to be the first.
Hey,
all right?
I'm proud of you.
Listen, man, I don't need people to be proud of me. You know what I mean? I don't need anybody to tell me thumbs up, here you go, good job. I'm doing this, because the word commanded for me to go do it. You hear me? But what you do here is a lot of people that are tired of this country the way it is, right? Hey, that's how, what's his name, Trump got elected, make America great again. Why would he have to make it great again if people didn't think that it sucked? It's going down the crapper. Of course it does. Unemployment is all-time high, almost 20%. The national debt, if you Google something called the debt clock, right? And there's a brother, man, if y'all don't, I'm talking to a brother that's here, you know what I'm saying? He's just listening, another Israelite, you know what I'm saying, young brethren. He's just going, chill. But if you Google the debt clock, and it comes up on a clock of the amount that the U.S. owes, right? That says that you and your children have to pay back in taxes, in, whatever. Man, your kids, your grandkids will never be able to pay that because the interest is compounding. If you get a loan, something called debt in this country, you get a loan, you have to pay it back, but it ain't just free and clear. Typically, you have interest associated with it. Sometimes the interest is so ridiculous, some people don't ever really get back where they were supposed to be on that loan. Well, that's how America is. Compounded with the interest is something like, I think, over $300-something trillion. It's impossible. And it's not like people don't know it. People's pensions are getting cut. They're literally firing them from jobs that they used to have for years. Social Security gets pushed back. Pensions, stores that have been in operation for years are being closed down. How can Walmart, which is an actual billion-dollar company traded on the NASDAQ, Bloomberg stock, actually be going out of business? They're closing something like 500 locations. Sears here in Joplin is being closed. How is that possible? Right? So that's how Donald Trump won. Said, listen, we got to fix this. We got to make America great again. Something's got to happen. Well, somebody will fix this. All right? He's the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And his name is Yahushua in Hebrew. All right? And he is going to come and he's going to set a balance back in this country. Matter of fact, in this whole world. He's going to destroy it by thermonuclear fire. And all the people that had a hand in the destruction or the torment or the capture of these people on the sign, the so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Hispanics, they're going into captivity themselves. They're going into slavery according to the scriptures. All right? I'm gonna get that. Because, hey, the Bible, people look at like, what? How's that possible? Shut up. What the dude say? I don't believe it. Oh, you gonna believe it, right? This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right? When I hear that, I get goosebumps. You be like, wait a moment. The Lord is with killing a bunch of people that had my ancestors with yokes of iron on their neck and whips on their back. He's with it? Man, I'm too cool with that, right? Because that's called payback. It's fair, right? What if there's a balance and if there's a just supreme being, then what's fair is fair. It can't be that people got away with it and their children's children, fast forward 2017, get to chill and get all the benefits of what their so-called skin color is and what their nationality is. And then when they die, as long as they believe in sweet Jesus, they get streets of gold, the pearly gates. Oh, so I get there, St. Peter. That's what they believe. But they're wrong, because whatever you do, you have to get punishment for. Whatever you do comes back to you. There's a famous thing called karma, right? Hey, karma is a fickle bitch. And she'll come back, and it ain't gonna be nothing nice. It's gonna be nice for us, the so-called the elect that the Lord talks about, the men and women, the men, all right, in some sistren, all right, but it's really the men that are on the sign here, the so-called Native American, Hispanic, and Negroes, all right, that rose to the call, that read the scriptures from the apostles, Elder Tahar on down, all right, that broke this down and told us, stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, or lobster. Stop sinning. Stop committing adultery. Stop having abortions. Stop smoking weed. Stop drinking lean. Stop smoking them cigarettes, them bogeys, all right? Stop doing all these things. But guess what? They're not going to teach you that in the church, right? They're not going to teach you that at all. Because they believe you do whatever makes you feel good, right? Do what makes you feel good. Have a good time. Do a little dance. You know what I'm saying? What's that song? Get down tonight, right? That's what America's about. America's about making this money, all right? Having a blast, not worrying about the next man. That's what they call it, something like dog eat dog world. Heard of that before? That simply means that these people that live in this country and this machine called capitalism will chew you up and spit you out. The statistics are something like 80% of people in America are 2 paychecks from being homeless. Did you know that? That means if they got sick and couldn't go to work, had mono, flu, you know what I'm saying, anything bad, you can't show up at work and you sitting there, you know what I'm saying, and you didn't get paid, you'd probably be homeless because you couldn't pay your bills. But this is the greatest country in the earth, right? The greatest place in the world. Great at what? Number 1 in what? Childhood obesity? Murder? Racism? Yeah, we number 1, right? How's that? You could go to almost any other country, tuition be free. Did you know that? I'm watching this documentary. It's called, it's cool, man. It's called, I forget what it's called. Oh, it's called something about invading. It's the dude that made a documentary, big fat Edomite dude that made this documentary about Columbine. Did you see that? Did you know about Columbine? You young, man. Columbine's where the kids went up to the school and shot the school up. So they call it Columbine, Colorado. And he did a documentary about it, saying like gun control and how they do, in America and everything.